Turn. Let me look. I want to go back and look at Zora Magdaros. I think that's what it's called. Won't let me. I'm being railroaded.
I found this in the tent. It has a map in it. Well, part of one at least. Looks like we're right around here. The Research Commission's base of operations is here. This is where our ship was supposed to dock. For now, I think it would be best if we make our way to base. The map should help us find our way.
Alright, yeah, so this is the first area of the game, and this is actually a fairly good-sized area. That massive tree we saw, which is right there, it's off to my, slightly to my left. That's the roots right there in the background. But you can actually get to the very top of that tree. Yep, that tree. You can get all the way to the top of it, and it's really high up there. It takes a while to get up there. It takes a few minutes, and
Look, the Research Commission's headquarters.
you can also go underneath
Come on,
of
let's
it.
get
Not
going.
that far underneath, but you can. So, and that's one thing. This is a very pretty game. Really
According to the map, to get to HQ, we need to...
good detail, nice coloring, bright and everything. It's just really good looking. So right now I'm also kind of waiting for that handler. Why are you just standing there? Can't really do much until she starts moving.
Seem every bit as docile as the ones back home. It looks like we need to go around.
Yeah, because I don't know if you can see it from over here, but I think, yeah, straight over there. Well, they showed it on the map, but straight over there is where the main base is.
Something's up. The scout flies are gathering.
Yeah, so in case you don't know, as you go around and play, as you're playing, you'll find flowers like this. Vitality flowers, poison flowers, and such, and you can hit them.
What a weird plant.
And there we go, it just healed me. There's other ones that drop poison on the ground. They're good to use in a fight.
There's
You
one
can
over here,
poison
too.
a
Come
monster.
on. I think I found the way back to base.
And there's not a lot of these. This area is kind of has a couple of them to help you recognize what they look like.
I had the scout flies memorize my scent earlier. If you lose sight of me, just follow the scout flies, and they'll lead you right to me.
But most of the but they are somewhat rare. Of course, as you go, you also come across all sorts of other things. And when you're first starting off, you want to harvest as much stuff as you can. Then as you get more familiar, depending on your play style and stuff like that, you'll learn what you actually need to harvest and what you don't want to harvest. Because some stuff will just clutter your inventory and it's useless for your play style.
Easy there. Don't pick a fight if you don't have a weapon. We need to hide. Come on, this way. Hurry! Quietly.
If you look at my radar or my map right now, it's purple. That means I'm hiding. And they were looking for me. You have to go in the bushes and press X to actually hide.
Okay, the coast is clear.
Yeah,
Let's
I
get
know.
going while we still can.
Wait, is that the right way? Nope, I went the wrong way. Too far. Excuse me. Whew.
Nothing can stop us.
And you can fall from any height without taking any damage, so you don't need to worry about that. And you can hide from monsters and just about anything that's tall, like this. You're hiding. So hiding isn't that helpful. It can come in handy, but it's not the most helpful thing ever.
What is this track?
And if you look on the left side, you'll see old footprints. You want to keep an eye on there as you're running
There's
around
more
and
over
stuff.
there. Let's check it out.
Because it'll lead you to resources or footprints, and the footprints is what you need to track monsters. Because, like I said, you're a hunter. You literally have to hunt them down. You need to learn what their footprints, or you need to gather footprints and markings and other things, feathers, scales, and it'll let you track them better, so you can figure out where they're at on the map, and without having to actually find them, you can just open your map and put a marker on them and get right to them. And then you'll eventually be able to learn where they're going and stuff, and be able to set up ambushes.
Don't mind me. This way, hurry.
Okay, let's go.
Move. Move.
Yeah, I'm coming.
That is not good. What are you waiting for? Get over here.
That's the big baddie of the area. There's something more dangerous than him on this island, but you don't come across it until later on. But him, you can come across almost at any time. And he's pretty dangerous.
Jump! Hey,
You all right?
let's go.
Okay.
And we've made it to base. After the long sea voyage came to a harrowing end, Hunter and Handler braved the dense forest to come at long last to the Research Commission headquarters, Astera. That's a really cool looking stained glass design. Looks like some dragon breathing fire into something, and then like the moon, phases of the moon. There's like a golden hand down the bottom right with like crystals on it or something. There's another dragon on the top left. That must be the sapphire star at the center top. Oh, with more like wyverns or whatever on the just to the left and right of it. I didn't even realize that's what those were. Yeah, it's really going on.
Wow.
Amazing, ain't it? Just look at this gate. It's like nature meant for us to build Astera right here.
Astera. I like it.
The rest of the fifth are already here. You're the last to arrive.
So I guess our ship actually made it through fine.
Okay, set him down here. Take it
I'll
nice
need to
and
tape up your shoulder. Hold still for a bit.
Hey, you guys made it.
Be right back. You're alive.
Had it rough, huh? When we couldn't find you two, we were starting to sweat bullets.
You scared us. We were talking about going out to look for you.
All's well that ends well.
Hey, we need a hand!
Sorry.
Come on.
Catch you later.
This here's our trade yard. I guess the name says it all.
Look at all the people. The stuff.
Incredible, right? We've got it all here. We've got hunters to do all the exploring, scholars to do the research, technicians to keep them going. This place is the beating heart of the Commission. Wait here a sec. Commander, I found him.
Welcome to Astera.
I'm glad you made it. Somehow I knew you would, though. When you've been in command as long as I have, you start to learn who's capable and who isn't. Now, as much as I'd like to get you up to speed, I'm being pulled in about 8 directions at once. We'll cover the important matters of council, which I'll be convening once things settle down. I expect you two to be there, of course.
Your reputations precede you.
The guild spoke highly of you as individuals. Think what you can do as a team. And before I forget, your furry friend was looking for you. Poor thing washed up not too long ago. Go ahead and have a look around, Astera. A horn will sound when it's time for council.
Off you go.
Okay, I'll give you the grand tour. Let's start by looking for your palico. This is our stockpile. They carry most of the basic necessities.
You should drop by later to see what they have.
Yeah, it's a good place to pick up any resources you're running low on. It starts off kind of, I can't think of the right word. It doesn't have a lot when you first start,
It's this way.
but as you go, it expands, opens up, and it carries a lot more resources.
Over here.
So at the early part, it's not thing, but later on, it does make life a lot easier. You don't have to farm or worry about gathering certain resources. You can just buy them.
We were the Commission's 5th Fleet, right? The old man in charge, my grandfather, was with the 1st. That was a long time ago. Me? Not with any fleet. Born and bred right here. Never even been to the old world. Here's our smithy. This is where you can craft weapons and armor. You'll be here a lot.
Wow! Look at this place. Want to check it out? Ooh, it's toasty in here.
Yep,
Next
you
up
do.
is the canteen. Let's check it out.
You do. You spend a lot of time here and at the canteen. Those are probably the two places you'll be hanging out at the most. If you do a lot of PvP stuff, maybe up top. But, yeah, these are the places you'd be the most. Right here's the armorer. Oh, what do we have here? New face, huh? You must be with the 5th. Welcome to the new
Goodbye,
world.
then.
Being taught business once you've grabbed yourself a weapon. That outfit just looks naked without one. I'll be here waiting for you. So you're not even going to let me do anything. But you can buy base versions of weapons here. If you don't want to go through and craft them or waste resources crafting them, you can buy the base starting weapons here. The blacksmith to upgrade them.
There you are, Flavor.
So the illustrious 5th has arrived. Welcome, welcome. Here it was quite the rough, huh? Where's your gear? You need equipment, weapon at least, then we'll talk. Yes, they won't do anything with me yet because it's just the tutorial part.
Want to
Come
get
on.
going?
The canteen? I am so there.
Yeah, the canteen's pretty important. It really helps make things easier.
Over here.
It won't even let me look around. Off to the right was housing, which you can't access until much later. That's a huge slab of meat
This
in there.
here's our canteen.
Hey, over there. Hey, you! Aw. I knew you'd pull through.
Right. We're calling for a council. Come on.
Yeah.
Now that you are all here, let us begin council. After tracking a migrating elder dragon across the sea, the 5th Fleet have finally arrived in Astera. Give them a warm welcome. In group, worthy comrades who will help see the Research Commission's long efforts finally rewarded. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, sir. We're ready to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty.
This here is the Commission's core team. You should all get to know each other.
Looking forward to it.
Now, down to business. The latest monster to make the Elder Crossing is known as Zora Magdaros. A huge monster with a mountain of fire upon its back. The Research Commission's job is to discover exactly why the Elder Dragons are migrating to the New World.
Elder dragons have been with us since the dawn of time, altering the ecosystem, reshaping the land, leaving disaster in their wake. Once every decade or so, they flock to this continent. But for what reason?
With the Fifth's help, we will find the missing link.
Here, here. Now we're talking!
Hunters, for the time being, I need you to focus on investigating our Jagras problem and securing Astera. Start by investigating the Jagras' habitat. Find out what makes them tick, and we'll go from there.
Right. We're on it, sir.
Everyone else, you know the drill. Make sure these hunters have everything they need.
Now we're talking!
It's kind of frustrating you can't make a cat like that one. Big badass dude, all buff, got the scars and everything. I want a palico like that running around with me.
You two, priority to learn how we do things around here. You'll find good teachers, so don't be afraid to ask.
You heard him. Stick with me and you'll have no problems.
The Fifth's banner promises a change in the wind. It's your job to fulfill that promise. All right, dismissed.
Not even here a whole day and already got your first mission. You really are ready to get your hands dirty. Well, let's go look into this Jagras problem, but you'll need a weapon
Over here.
first. There's a box full of equipment you can use in your quarters. Come on, I'll show you the way. Yeah, so when you start off, this is your room. Like I said, later on it moves, but you really don't even need to enter your room that often, unless you're going to go through and actually like, you can like capture pets and let them go in here and stuff. Unless you actually do stuff like that, there's not really much. Or if you're going to the training field, there's not too much of a reason to ever really come here, because everything you can do inside of here, you can do outside, except for go to the training room and release the pets.
We've placed some basic gear for you in that equipment box. Make sure to choose a weapon that suits you.
Yeah, so yeah, like this one, even to change your gear and stuff, you can do it outside. There's like an item box on almost every floor, multiple ones on different sides and stuff. So you don't need to come here to change your equipment. There's 14 hunter weapons, and they all have different bonuses and side effects. There's long-range ones and short-range ones, and you can change them at any time. You're not stuck using one weapon. You can have as many as you like. I think the basic starting one is the hunter's knife, which is the sword and shield combo. My favorite weapon is this. It's the charge blade. This is called the Proto Commission Axe, but it's the charge blade. My second favorite weapon is the switchblade, or the switch axe. This is also a pretty fun weapon for me to use. We'll go ahead and select that. And like I said, if you come through here, you'll see that you have two different armor sets. You have the leather set and the chainmail set. They do have slightly differences. The chainmail's better for water, leather's better for fire, but at this point, neither of those really matter. You're going to quickly change out of them. And then, of course, you have the Guardian set, which is I mentioned before, is really powerful and will carry you through most of the game. I think there's only like one monster you want to change. That when you fight, you want to change your armor set because there's better armor set for it. But for the rest of for the most part, you can use this for every monster up until the late game. But yeah, look, it's defense 50, whereas your starting equipment's 2. It gives you bonus fire, bonus ice, and bonus to dragon. Plus it has recovery up and the health boost. So now this is where things get a little weird. So when you look at the skills, if you look down at the bottom of the screen, it says skill info. If you use the touchpad, you can see it has recovery up level 2 and health boost level 1. You can see there's 3 levels. You get levels based on the equipment you're using and if it has those skills. So you can have you can mix and match armor to get certain skills up to a certain point if you want and stuff. So you could have a specific build for a specific weapon, or for a specific monster, like mix and match armor sets to get lightning a higher lightning bonus and stuff like that. So just because you're going up against one monster doesn't mean you have to use one specific set. It's good to mix it up and everything like that. But yeah, so that's how you change it, and it also shows you what armor sets. Wait a minute, where is it? Does it not show it here? I thought it was here it showed it. Okay, yeah. So there's one screen where it'll show. I think it's with the armor or the blacksmith, but you can bring up the skill set and it'll show you all the skills and what skill is associated with what piece of armor and stuff like that. So you can look at and see what's giving you what. That way you can better match up your armor or mix and match your armor. But there's also different skills and stuff. You see I went to the chest piece. This has Marathon Runner level 1 and Recovery up level 1 and stuff. So that's where one of the recovery, because I think my recovery is level 2, and that's where one of them comes from. So it's good to go through and understand what the armor's doing and what it gives you, because it can get frustrating if you're using one armor set and you don't realize it's giving you a certain skill, and then you change it and you're wondering why you're struggling all of a sudden. Well, it's because the other armor set had this skill and you didn't realize it, and you were relying on that without even knowing it. And of course there's also L3 where you can compare the armor compared to what you have equipped. So, but like I said, we're gonna start with the leather armor. We'll change it out soon. We're not gonna be using it very long. And the Proto Commission axe, charge blade, my favorite weapon. A lot of people say that the charge blade is really complex to use, but to me, it's not really. Like there is a lot of steps to it, but it's just
waiting with a quest.
To me, it's
get more familiar with your weapons at the training area. Just talk to the housekeeper to get started.
To me, it's not that complex. It just kind of clicks with me. I know this looks like some old closet that we've turned into a makeshift room for you Mew hunters, but that's not the case, I promise. It's fully furnished with everything Meowster needs. You have your very own equipment box where you can manage and change your gear. I just hope you don't mind changing in front of others, because you have roommates. Didn't they tell you about that? No? Okay. Moving on. Your room also comes with an area to manage your Palico's gear, right next to your bed even. Convenient, right? Oh, one more thing. If you need access to the training area, just come talk to me. I'm here to lend a paw 24/7. I aim to Pearlese. Now what does Meowster need? Let's go ahead and go to the training area. Show that off. And the training area does vary slightly depending on... and some of the things you're going to see in here will vary slightly depending on whether you have the expansion or not. If you don't have the expansion, I think some of the stuff might not even appear. I'm not sure. Yeah, the training area pretty much is telling you you have access to everything, and you can't waste any resources while you're here. Yeah, so if you have the... Okay, so maybe it does appear if you don't have the expansion, but it has that big red note there. It says you have to have Iceborne installed for some of these things. Combo damage, objects... Gives you some of the basic
let's run
buttons.
Through the hunting basics.
So,
first, ready your weapon.
So when you're in the training area, it's literally for training. It shows you all of the attack combos you can do and stuff. But here's the thing. I highly recommend that when you're playing with weapons, go online and look up tutorials on how to use the weapons. These combos that you see do not fully explain everything, and they will not let you use the weapon to the full capability. There's a lot of mechanics that don't make sense. Or there's a lot of these mechanics that just don't make any sense, and you need to look up how to properly use them and what they're for. I mean, you can, if you're really paying attention and if you're smart, you can figure it out on your own. But it's also easier to go through and to just look it up, because certain combos have better effects, or there are certain combos that they don't explain, and they're much better to use because they're faster. You can get better damage output in a shorter burst and stuff like that. after your weapons, like my charged blade, I have to charge it up to get the maximum power out of it. Well, there's slow, long ways it can take to charge it up, or there's really fast ways to charge it up. And there's other weapons that are like that, where you have to charge them up as you fight. And there's slow ways, and then there's fast ways. You really want to look up how the fastest way of charging it, because you get bigger burst damage, or you can get quicker burst damage out. But for the most part, was it R2 or square or triangle will draw the weapon.
The charge
And,
blade has two forms, sword and axe. Store up energy in a file, then release it through the axe.
Yeah, so with mine, I have it starts off with a sword and shield if I press triangle.
You
If
can use the
I
slinger with your weapon drawn.
press
Look for the
R2,
perfect moment, then fire.
I go straight into axe mode. And you can see my mobility is actually affected. Another reason I like the sword and shield combo is that I have good mobility in this mode. It's one thing is I don't like about a lot of the weapons. A lot of the weapons have very bad mobility, and you have to constantly put your weapon away and pull it back out just to chase the monster from, like, right here to over where snow is. Like, because if I'm in, oops, just kind of, how do I? There we go. Because if I'm like this, it takes forever to get over there to snow. And most of the weapons you move this fast, just naturally. But if I have this mode out, I can't sprint, but I can move a lot faster. So, that's one of the reasons I like this weapon. But anyways, for most weapons, triangle is your basic attack. Circle is like a special attack. And then depending on the weapon, it has all sorts of different things. You can sheath weapons. Like the longsword has a sheath weapon, or a sheath move, where you sheath the sword and charge it up, and then you can let go at its right time to unleash a powerful attack. The switchblade, or the switch axe, it has something like that, when it's an axe form. You do attacks, you charge it up, and then you switch to your sword to deal devastating damage. And the switch my charge blade's like that. I use my sword and shield mode and come in and just do some basic attacks. You can see my sword is glowing now. Also, if you look in the top left of the screen, you see a shield. You see my health, my stamina, my sword durability, and underneath that you see a sword, a shield, and then 5 red files. As I attack, those red files fill up, and if you keep attacking, it'll actually grow even brighter. The problem is
too much blade energy. You need to charge so your attacks don't get deflected.
that last attack of mine deflected, and you can see the whole entire blade is glowing bright red. Now those files are flashing. If I attack now, all my attacks will bounce, and it'll also take my durability will drop faster. You see all my attacks are bouncing now. I can't do anything. So yeah, I have to, once my sword gets to the red files, not this point, I want to charge it before, I want to store them before they get to this point, but once they get to the red files, I want to store that energy into my shield, and I do that with R2 and circle. Or, not into my shield, I store them into my files. You see now I have 5 white files, but my sword is no longer glowing. Now, I can also, now that I'm talking about it, I'm having a hard time remembering the combos and stuff, so I'm going to be a little awkward, I apologize. But now what I can do is, I can also store those files into my shield. And let's go ahead and build up a little bit of energy real quick. I don't think you have to build up energy, but I'm going to. And then now if I hit R2 and circle, and if I hold it, wait, no, that didn't do it. Is it R2 and, no, that didn't do it either. Why am I not doing it? Okay, hold on. I'm having a brain fart on how to do this. But one of the things you can do with the files, once you have file energy, if you switch to your sword or your axe, you can actually deal stronger hits, elemental damage. You see right there, I used my axe, and I used up one of the files, and I actually did a little bit of bonus damage with that attack. So now what I'm trying to remember is, how do I actually store it into my shield? I'm having a brain fart. Because I thought I just hit R2 and circle. R2, circle. Am I... There it goes. Okay. So now you see my shield is glowing. Okay, so I was an idiot. Alright. I was trying to store the energy into my sword is what I was doing. That's what I was doing wrong. So, once I have all my files filled, if I hit R2 or triangle and circle a bunch of times, I do this attack. It's a super powerful attack and it expends all my files. It just completely expends everything. And I do this cool little elemental shockwave attack and everything. It's your most power. I think it's this weapon's most powerful attack, and it's easy to do. You just hit triangle and circle while you have full files. Well, you can do it at any time, but to get the maximum damage, you need full files. But let's go ahead and store up some energy in files. There we go. But if my files are full and I hit triangle and circle, when I do the animation to switch from my sword and shield to my axe, if I hit and hold R2, instead of expending all of my files in that powerful attack, I'll store the energy into my shield. So it's right here. Oh, I missed it. Right here. Hit hold R2, and you see all my files are gone, but now my shield is glowing. So now, once my shield is glowing, I refill up my files, store, gather energy again. And you see, it's actually faster to gather energy when your shield starts charging. It's actually easier to gather energy. It's a little faster to do. So now, once my files are stored, once my shield is charged, if I hold R2 and circle, that's not right. Come on. That's it, triangle. Alright, once you hit R2 and circle to store the energy into your sword again, and if you let go of it, and if I hold triangle, and if you release triangle at the right time, you store that energy into your sword. And if you look up there, my sword icon is now glowing along with my shield. Now this is the absolute strongest I can get this weapon. This is the maximum amount of damage I can do with it. With the files, with my sword glowing, and with the shield glowing, you deal bonus damage. When your shield is charged, you have bonus defense. When your sword is charged, you get bonus offense. And the best part about it is that when they combine, when you do that ultimate attack, we release all the elemental or all the file energy, you deal even more damage when everything is charged up. So like I said, it takes a little bit of practice. It's a little confusing for me. It's not that confusing. I'm just a little rusty. I haven't played in a while, and now that I'm talking about it, trying to explain the button combos, I'm having brain fart. But you can also see now that my sword is no longer glowing. That energy doesn't last that long. And you can see my shield is flashing. That's actually about to go out. The shield lasts, I want to say, for like about a minute and a half, whereas the sword only lasts for about 30 seconds. Once you get used to the combos and the order of what you need to do, it's pretty easy to keep both of those constantly going. It's a little slow at the beginning of the fight because the monster's moving around a lot, but as they get weaker and as they start limping and they can't do all their attacks, it actually gets easier to fill it up, and it's really easy to just lay into them with some high damage. So it takes a little bit to get going, but once it's going, it can just keep going and going. With the sword and axe combo, it's really easy to break body parts and stuff. Another bonus of having your sword and shield glowing, like I said, you get bonus offense and defense, but you also, when your sword's glowing, you get a skill bonus automatically. I think it's called Mind's Eye. But any enemy you fight where your sword would normally bounce off of them, your sword no longer bounces. So when later on, when you're fighting some of like the rock wyverns, where they have like, they're pretty much made of rock, and most of your attacks will bounce off of them. When you have that your sword glowing, your attacks will no longer bounce. So it gives you an advantage and stuff like that. So anyways, that's pretty much how you want to use this weapon. You want to store up energy. Let's go ahead and oh, that wasn't the right attack. Yeah, you want to store up energy, put it in your shield, store up more energy, store it with your sword, and then once everything's all stored up, you want to release it with your ultimate attack, and it does a big shockwave attack and everything. And the one thing I forgot to mention, there was time, I think I mentioned it, maybe, I can't remember, but I'll go over it real quick. The timing of charging your sword. Like I said, you want to have energy. You don't need files, you just need energy. But, you see, I have the energy now, but my files are empty. Hit R2 in circle, hold triangle, now. And my sword is recharged, and my files are full. So you don't need files to charge the sword, you just need energy. As I was, right when I said now, you can see that I bring my sword and my shield back. I put my sword in the shield, and you see the sword is sticking up, and then you'll see a moment where the sword will retract, and the shield will like clamp on the sword. If you let go at that moment, that is when you store the energy in your sword, and also when there. That's when you store the energy in your sword and lets you do that elemental discharge attack without expending files. So now the one thing to remember is that your shield has to be charged to do that. You can see my shield is actually getting ready to run out of energy. Oh, the other thing I forgot is when your sword is charged, all of your attacks deal elemental discharge. So that gives you a little bit of bonus damage too. I'm actually waiting for the energy to expel so I can show. There we go. My shield is no longer charged. There we go, my sword. So now I'm getting ready to store the energy. Holding triangle. Nothing. Yeah, your shield has to be charged. Hold R2. There we go. My shield is charged. Now my sword is charged. Didn't have any energy stored up. There we go. And now, there we go. Now my sword's completely powered up. Like I said, it doesn't take long. Doesn't take long to do, but getting that full combo off can be hard, you know, when moving fighting monster that can knock you out of your attacks and stuff. But that's the that's the charge blade and how you want to use it. Like I said, I didn't really go off of the attack combos down there. Yeah, because let's see, there's... Yeah, I mean, I am using them like that was the circle, triangle, circle, L2. Actually, I was holding R2. What is... I'm not sure what L2 does. I don't use that attack. That was interesting. Ooh. And it's a tiny little backstep in there as well. I need to remember that. I don't really use that attack. Ah, okay. Wrong button. Oops, it's gonna blow up. And oh, the other thing to remember is like mobility attacks. You can jump off of ledges. That's not what I was trying to do. There we go. You can use, you know, if you're in the air and you hit R2, you can pull out your sword and stuff and do a special attack. Wrong button. And you have a good chance of mounting the dinosaur as well. If there's no cliff, but there's a hill like this, and you slide down, hit triangle, you see jump in the air, and you do a little attack there, and that can actually help you mount the monster. It's really easy to mount monsters with this weapon. You just, as long as you have a hill. I think that not with all. It's not easy to mount monsters with all weapons. Some weapons it's harder to do. But you can also do an R2. But with an R2, no, there isn't an R2. Do I have to be airborne to do the R2? Let's try that again. Because when I'm going down a hill, I typically don't use the R2. I only use the R2 when I'm jumping off a cliff. Yeah, you should only be airborne when you use the R2. But when you're sliding down a hill, you can use the triangle. But yeah, the R2 isn't that good for mounting monsters. It's a very powerful overhead slam attack. But sliding down a hill and using triangle is a good way to mount monsters. And mounting monsters is important because when you're on them, you can use your dagger and you stab them. And you can move along their body and stab certain body parts and stuff. And each stab only deals like 1, maybe 2 damage. It's not a lot at all considering some of my attacks will deal, especially later on once I get more powerful weapons, they'll be dealing like 100 damage or something like that, or more than that. And so it doesn't seem like it does much, but it weakens that body part. And that's a big part of this game, is you need to break body parts off of these monsters. It weakens them. It lets you get special or specific body parts or pieces so that you can craft weapons and stuff. So you need to learn, as you're fighting a monster, okay, I need this piece off of this monster, which is attached to this body part. So I need to aim specifically for the front leg or the back legs, or I need to aim specifically for the legs or the tail or the head. So if you're trying to get a specific part, you really want to try and mount them. That way you can go stab the hell out of that body part and weaken it, and it's easier for it to break and for you to get that part. But that's enough of the training area. There's one last thing. These I don't really use that much because they're kind of hard to find. Some places look like you can do it, but you can't. And other places look like you can't, but you can. But this wall right here is you can run up it. And if you jump, and there you go, you can do a jump attack off of it. It's good if you have a monster chasing you and stuff like that. Like I said, the problem is that you pretty much need to just run around and just run into walls to see if you can do it. Like I said, some walls it looks like you can't do it, and some walls look like you can. But that's going to wrap up this little section. I'm just going to go straight back to the HQ. Because the only other thing I could have done in the room was change my Palico's equipment, but he doesn't have any equipment to change into. Yeah, so I think from here we're ready to get out there on our first hunt, and it's not much of a hunt. We just need to go after some Jagras. But excuse me, stretch. But that will get us. But yeah, we're ready for our first hunt. So like I said, I highly recommend that when you're playing around with weapons, and that's one thing that really deters people away, is the weapons feel awkward and stuff like that. They can't figure out how to properly use them because a lot of things aren't properly explained. I highly recommend you go online and you look up weapon tutorials. Because a lot of these weapons, they don't properly explain things. Almost all the weapons have some kind of hidden talent or hidden abilities. Things you need to like charge up and stuff like that to get the most damage out of, and to get like special bonuses and stuff. And the game just doesn't explain it, or they don't explain it clearly or well or whatever. So if the weapons in the game is what drove you away from it, look up weapon guides, tutorials, whatever, and then try it again. Because fully understanding how to use the weapon really makes the game a lot better. All right, let's finish up this conversation, then I'll cut from here so we can get to the next episode. Now that you have access to the armory and provision stockpile, grab what you need. Once you're done, go meet up with your handler in the canteen to sign up for a quest.
Handlers
All right,
sort through the research
so I'm going to go ahead and stop,
commission's
take a little break, and then we'll come back
leads,
and we'll
the ones they
jump
deem
into
worth
the
our
next mission.
attention become quests.